Good morning. It is Thursday, June 20th. It is a busy day in the auto industry. Obviously, we have some major things going on with the CDK hack. We're going to talk about pushing back on the hack today, as well as some positive things happening. We got to balance it out today, I feel.
It's just
we need some balance.
Simple balancing act. Yes, that's all it is.
Nothing feels very simple about the people who are on having the issues today. That's for sure.
Everywhere. It is wild. Yeah, we'll get into it in a second.
We will. What things do we have to talk about? We have Todd Caputo on the show this morning to talk a little bit about this. We're also trying to put together a special live stream that is going to feature a lot of dealers and industry partners, so we can maybe share some information on best practices in situations like this, how we can kind of help everybody get through it. Oh, I should have worn my No Crisis Can Win shirt today.
Oh, that would have been the one.
Strike out. Oh, we'll get those going again. I do have my pushback shirts though.
There you go.
I got some of these guys sitting around.
Something back here.
All right, we're gonna revive these.
I got nothing back there.
We're gonna revive these.
Pushback.
Bring back the pushback.
Back.
We still got the stickers too.
There you go.
What are we releasing today? Listen, so yesterday I spent some time in Philly with a dealer, and I was driving down, and I listened to so many ASOTU Concessions podcasts, and I couldn't help but think, because I listened to them. Actually, didn't go 1.5. I had a lot of time, so I was like, let's go 1.25. Let's let it soak in a little bit more. Can't do normal speed. Can't do that.
Got to rest in it a little bit,
But
yeah.
I was thinking, this is such a great little drip feed for anyone who wants to learn about the other areas of the industry.
Yep.
It is so good, and we say it every time, but listen to some of the ASOTU Concessions podcast, ASOTU Concessions, because they're really short, and you're talking inventory, you're talking EV strategy, you're talking tech, you're talking people, and it's boom, before you know it, the episode's over, and you're like, I want more.
And I'm just, honestly, I'm grateful to Effective for giving us the ability for 3 years running now to put that podcast together. If it wasn't for them, putting that stage together doesn't happen. And
that's right.
You're talking, I think at this point, over 50 interviews that are quick and snappy, but give you a ton of context for the industry. So you could probably go back to all 3 years, listen to all of them, and
still learn. It is like a masterclass. Yeah. It's so fun to listen to the other hosts too, because you and I we don't host the majority of these. I got to hear you host some, which was fun. Joe Overby did a fantastic job hosting. Elena Ciccatelli did a great job, and so it's fun because you get a variety of hosts, you get a lot of flavor in there, and I got to hear a supercharged mariachi band interrupt you and Mike Stanton. That was worth the price of admission.
That was ridiculous.
It was so good. You're like, that is not the music telling us that our time is up. That was really funny.
It was unbelievable.
All right, let's get into the top story, the big story. Yesterday's cyber attack against CDK's global DMS disrupted nearly 15,000 dealerships. It halted various operations. If you're on it, this is the system that ties together parts, service, accounting, finance, insurance, inventory, cashier tasks, basically leaving a lot of dealers to have to figure out what to do. In an email to customers, they wrote, this is this morning. So Todd Caputo's on the show. He sent me a text early this morning. Basically, CDK wrote and said, "We're sorry to inform you we've experienced an additional cyber incident late in the evening last night. Out of continued caution to protect our customers, we're once again proactively shutting down our systems, currently assessing overall impact. At this time, we don't have an estimated time frame for resolution. Therefore, our dealer systems will not be available at a minimum. Through today.
My guess is this is going to last through the weekend."
So Rita Case, who she is, CEO of Rick Case Automotive. She's like, we're back to pencil and paper. She said, we'll just have to do it manually. It's not different than when a hurricane comes and we're out of power. We just have to do things by hand and then recreate it. We're following the instructions CDK is given to protect the integrity of the rest of our information. She does say, though, she's been with CDK since 1979.
Yeah.
Right? That's the year I was born, actually. My whole life.
Been through a fair share of this, of ups and downs similar to this.
And so this is not and we want to be really careful about this, right? No matter which DMS it is, everybody right now is holy crap, right? Because this can happen to anyone. So it's not shade on CDK. This is just a coordinated attack. It happens to the biggest companies in the world. Teddy Moore, CEO of Ed Morse Auto Group, one of the largest private groups in the country, have over 50 stores. He said, this is a fun way to wake up the day. He said, told Automotive News, reading a text when his team just simply sent him, there has been a cyber event. He said, CDK is an important tool for us, but my team isn't completely reliant on them because our group will continue to take care of customers, sell, and service cars.
Yeah. Before we bring Todd in, I want to, yesterday I was just looking up like what other big companies go through this. In the last 7 years, Equifax, Cap One, Target, LinkedIn, Marriott, Uber, and many more have all experienced cyber attacks at this level that have impacted functionality and their ability to deliver their products. So it's not new. And I've also wrote this to a group of marketers yesterday. I have the Auto Genius community, said, and this is the same of the ASOTU community. Like, you have the opportunity to be the face of reason and calm during internal communications at the store and external communications to other providers and CDK reps today, because it's impacting everybody.
Yep.
And being the negative Nancy on the block is not the solution.
That is not. Let's bring Todd in. Todd is not a negative Nancy. He's a positive Todd. Uh-oh. Did we just lose Todd? No. He's coming.
Oh.
Our software is a little slow today. There he is.
There he is.
That was us, not you. Todd, good morning. Oh, we're going to have the old satellite delay today. Todd, can you hear us? Oh, boy. All right, Nathan, we'll let you communicate with him on the back channel and try to get him back in. Meanwhile, while we're waiting for Todd to come in, let's do the last story. Do the last story. We'll get Todd back in.
Come back to it because we both have thoughts on this too. So
yeah, we do. All right, so let's balance it out with a little positivity. And and then we're going to get back CDK, talk about what we're going to try to do to bring people together to get you some best practices information so you can see what other people do and maybe be able to even share some resources, right? Like some documents, some write-ups, some things like that. But here's a fun one. Carter Myers Automotive celebrating new apprentice technicians with, get this, signing ceremonies similar to college athlete signings to honor and promote careers in auto repair. So fun to see. So basically they include family and friends, local media, politicians. They get 100 to 150 attendees at these things to cheer as the new apprentices are signing these contracts. Beth Lucchesi, talent acquisition specialist at CMA, says the benefits of these things and benefits of working in the trades, no college debt, great earning potential. She said, we want to celebrate with these students as they enter a career path to earn a living wage with no college debt and all that potential. At these ceremonies, apprentices get hand tools. They get their dealership gear. There's a picture of them all sitting at the table with the pens and the things like that.
Yeah,
one of the new techs, Danny Medina, said, it was really exciting. There was a time when I was worried about not knowing where I was going to start a career. So it was great to finally see myself having a career set up for me.
Look, the signing ceremony thing is so smart, right? Because it puts an emphasis on you're a professional. This is a career path. This is an exciting thing that you get to be a part of. Your family can celebrate around you. They feel important. They feel like someone's accomplished something, right? This is something that I would love to see, just signing ceremonies popping up all over the country, right?
What a low barrier of entry.
Day.
Right. You need a table, some pens, right?
8-foot backdrop.
Right. 8-foot backdrop, fanfare, invite people out. When it makes so much sense, media and politicians, it's yes, they want to take credit for good things going on in their community, right? They will show up. And can you imagine, just as a new apprentice tech, you go from this one side of feeling all these other people are going to college, to this feeling of I have so much value to this company. They're making this much of a big deal. You think they're going to show up to work on time the next day? Ready to go?
I can only imagine what Brian Ortega and Nathaniel Greklick would do with signing day. Live stream, fanfare. You got then they're gonna have the Sports Center desk over on the side. Next up we have, it's just gonna be amazing.
Stats, rotating the tech like a Fortnite character. We can do that. All right, Todd's back in, and I think we have our audio working. Todd, come on back in. Can you hear us?
Hey. Yeah, how you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing really good. We're doing. Where are you today at? That's a beautiful background you got.
I'm in upstate New York.
That's right. You told me this.
Yes,
you're right down the road, kind of.
Sort of, not too far away.
So Todd, you're close to a ton of dealers, obviously, longtime dealer yourself, and yesterday there was just a ton of hustle and bustle around the industry, trying to figure out exactly what to do. What's kind of your take, your hot take, your first take on the CDK interruptions to business and what dealers should be thinking about just first get out the gate?
I mean, so like, first of all, the worst feeling you can get is a group thread text message at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. saying the DMS is down. Like, I remember those days, right? Especially before customers are coming for walking into your service drive at 7 or 7:30 in the morning. It's not a good feeling at all. You know, you have to think about, geez, where do you start? Like, by department, there is a lot. I mean, if it's down for a couple hours, it's one thing that's manageable, but for an entire day or 2 days, or like you said before, you think it's going to go on even longer. I mean, the thought of this is really kind of insane, and there's so much to think about. That was when I buzzed Paul this morning. I said, Paul, look at, right, like, not every dealer has a backup plan for this. I mean, some dealers might, like on the coast that are in hurricane prone areas where they lose power, but the majority of dealers aren't ready. I mean, when I had my dealerships, we were kind of ready. We had extra boxes of repair orders and extra parts tickets that we kept, like when we converted, way back when, but we kept them just in case for stuff like this. But, there's a lot of people that have come into the car business that have never actually written anything with their hand. Like,
Right.
they've always typed it in. So, I think at the end of the day, there's a huge lesson to be learned from this. And I think this would be great for the ASOTU community of dealers and for vendors too. Like, some kind of like group collaboration where you can talk about, geez, what did you do when this happened by department? How did you handle leads? How did you handle ROs? How did you handle parts? How did you handle accounting? Like, how did you handle everything? Anybody that touches the DMS in a dealership, how did you actually handle it as a dealer? And how did you actually help accommodate it as a vendor? So at the end of the day, you can build some kind of playbook. So if this happens again, number one, you're prepared. And number two, in my opinion, if I was still own dealerships or I was responsible for them, I'd make sure part of everybody's training is this moment when this actually happens, right? Like, this is what we do. This is what the procedure is. Here's the book that you bring out. This is like the DEFCON 5 book, right? Like the just in case, because it could probably will happen again. We know it will probably happen again. And our business, this industry is ripe for cyber attacks and ripe for fraud as well. And it's only going to continue to get worse. So huge wake up call.
It's a huge wake up call. And I think, well, first of all, I do want to, if you're listening to this and you're on CDK and you're just trying to get in, one of the things that could help any cyber attack get stronger is trying to log in. So don't do that right now. I think that's like the first layer is like, tell your people, don't continue to try to log in until CDK says that's clear, because that'll help out.
Feed more info, all that stuff.
Exactly. Then the next layer of this is start to create the run book of like, what have you done? Document every change that you make over the next 2 to 3 days if you're a CDK dealer, and start to put policies in place around this. I feel most for the parts and accounting department because they literally live out of there, right? Sales has, Route 1 and Dealer Track and DR tools, and marketing has automation stuff outside of the DMS and outside of CDK products. You can spin up a simple CRM or an email group pretty quickly to get leads. But for parts and for accounting, everything is tied to that DMS. So it becomes an extremely manual process to make sure things aren't missed over the next 3 days.
Without a doubt. Listen, we're gonna get to work. We already started. So your suggestion, Todd, real early this morning, and we're gonna see if we can pull together some people who have experience with this or have some systems in place to do go real old school ASOTU like we did at the very first live streams. Let's see if we can get some people together to share best practices, maybe get some resources together that we can disseminate quickly through our email list and things like that. Like, this is definitely one of those moments where dealers can band together. And if you're on another DMS and if there's any support you think you can give to your fellow dealers who are on CDK, these are some of the ideas that we want to try to unearth, because we know, even though dealers are competitors and they're right down the street from one another, we all know what happens when you need help the dealer next door is helping.
Absolutely. Right? It's like a bag of sugar, right?
That's really good.
Same thing.
That's right. That's right.
Well,
go ahead, Todd. What were you going to say, Todd? I think we're having some issues with the audio again. Well, if he doesn't come back in,
I think.
Go ahead.
Did you guys lose me?
Yeah, but here you go.
So there's a lesson, something good from this at the end of the day. When people learn how to do things manually rather than punching it in, there's a huge learning curve that gets overcome. People actually get a better understanding of the business, no matter what they do in the store. And that's a positive, right, at the end of the day. So like you said, let's be positive. Like that's the one thing at the end of the day. People are going to learn a lot from this for sure. So if you guys decide to collaborate on this in the future, I'm looking forward to it. From an operational standpoint, this is going to be one hell of a day.
Yeah, it will be for sure. Listen, if you can or you know someone who would be a great fit to help share some of these practices, just send us an email at crew@asotu.com. We'll get you looped in. Check the email list. We'll be sending it out. Go to asotu.com and sign up to make sure you get it when it comes out.